Christmas fast approaching, I'm sure that like me, you are rushing around trying to make sure that everything is absolutely perfect for the big day. Well, with time running out, I'm going to be showing you how you can create some last-minute gifts that are a little bit different. I like to try and make my gifts personal to each individual. So this year, I'm going to be making photographic gifts for my friends and relatives. I'm creating personalized photo books to present my family albums in an original and professional way, and photo wall calendars that show a memorable family picture each month of the year, with all the help of the guys at Vistaprint. I know these gifts are going to be a great success, but in order to make them extra special, I'm going to need help from an expert. So joining me today to give me some top tips is Ian Derry, professional photographer to the stars. So here is Ian with his top 5 tips. Right, Ian, so if we're going to capture all these key moments, what would you say is tip number 1?
Tip number 1, I'd say, is prepare. Be ready for any situation. Make sure the camera is on the right setting. Make sure that the camera is charged up, make sure you know where the camera is. Also make sure it's on the highest resolution. It's important that you get that right, so then when the picture's published it looks really good quality.
So we've got ourselves set up, we're all prepared. What would you say is tip number 2?
Tip number 2 is get a good selection of shots. You want to get like close-ups and wide shots, so it just changes the pace of the story as you're flicking through the pictures. You can have like a child asleep on the sofa, a child shaking their presents underneath a tree, all those sort of things. Yeah. So when you look back through, it's more three-dimensional. Yeah. It could be even incidental shots or shots of your child from behind, running across the field or in the park, whatever it is.
The only shots I get of my kids and them running away, so that's good to know that that's all right. And you also don't want it to all look the same, I suppose. Just portraits are quite boring. So.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's the key to it, to have something that, you know, grandma or granddad can look at Christmas, you know, if it's a photo book or it's a calendar. Just the changing of the pace from the close-up to the wide shot, to the outdoor shot, to the incidental shot, it just tells a story.
Okay, so we've got our selection of shots. What would you say is the 3rd tip?
My 3rd tip probably is turning off the flash. People think because they're indoors they need to have the flash on, and they don't. Most digital cameras these days work very well in low light, and you can get a much more intimate portrait of somebody when the flash is not on. You can be sort of in the background more, still taking pictures, but people will forget that you're there. So you'll get that more private feeling. Or
especially if Nana's fallen asleep on the sofa. My dad, terrible, always falling asleep. So if you can do that without the flash, you can actually get a really funny picture. Exactly,
and it shows, it has more of a feeling for the room rather than just the flash, and that's all you see is a flash shot. You have more of an understanding of the light in the room and the feeling in the room as well.
Okay, tip number 4?
My tip number 4 would be take more pictures than you need to. Often people just take one quick picture, look at the back of the camera, they think that's it. Whereas really, generally in any situation, the story will evolve. If you're at a kids' tea party, initially they're sat down, looking all cute, and then after, you know, a few minutes, one's got chocolate around their face, one's got a hat on, one's blowing, a streamer, one's in the garden doing something they shouldn't. So there's lots of different things going on. So just make sure you take lots and lots and lots. At the end, you can always delete them. You know, it's not going to cost you anything extra. Make sure though, if you do take a lot, that you download them. It's very important that you don't just wipe that card with all the shots on. Make sure they're on the computer before you format the card.
That is a top tip, because we've all done that. Yeah. And then finally, tip number 5.
My tip number 5 would be set stuff up. We've talked about lots of candid, incidental shots in lots of different situations. But there's always a nice situation where you have maybe granddad and grandma together, you know, in their Sunday best or whatever it is, or the new arrival with the big brother, something like that. Or maybe decorating the tree. It's a nice situation when the children are making cakes, a champagne toast or a family meal, stuff like that. Stuff that you can get incidentally, but it's also nice to have that record of the event as well.
Okay, well I think you've covered just about everything there. Some amazing tips for everybody. Thank you, Ian. I think the key point though is remember to download all your pictures, get them off the computer and put them into a book or a calendar, something that the whole family can enjoy. So I really hope this video has inspired you to make some brilliant photo gifts of your own. Whatever you're doing this Christmas, have a lovely one and a Happy New Year.